which is Unit 4, Stability Analysis. So far, it's more like forming a complete story kind of thing. And for that, we are just adding the tools in terms of units. So if you see the syllabus once again, so far we are able to introduce the concept of control systems along with mathematical models and different types of control systems. Then we learned about the representation of mathematical models in terms of transfer function and block diagram. We also learned about Masonskian formula for single flow graph. And after that, in Unit 3, we saw the time response analysis, where we have learned about the standard test signals, first order, second order system in detail, and also the response of these inputs to the performance of these systems. We also uh, learned about the steady state response analysis and error constant, and then we saw the concept of PID controller. So just quickly in the last class, whatever we have seen, we will just revise it again, and then we will move further for Unit 4, stability part. So in the control part, we have seen different structure of control, and they were proportional control, derivative control, integral control, and combination of these three. So they were PD, proportional derivative control, PI control, and PID control. So let me share the screen so that we all can see together. So perfect. I think you are able to see the screen now. As I said, we saw different types of control structure: proportional, derivative, integral, PD, combination of proportional and derivative, PI, combination of proportional and integral, and PID, combination of all these three control schemes: proportional, integral, and derivative. So I was just showing you this is the block for the controller, and for each control structure we have unique transfer function, and these transfer function will be appended to the original process. And as you can see now, when you add control structure in the loop, then how your overall transfer function is getting modified. So overall transfer function consists the transfer function from process and control, and by that, if there is any unstable system, they also become stable sometime. So we have to strategically choose the control structure, and once we know the objective of the process, then accordingly we can choose the value of Kp, Ki, Kd. These are also known as tuning parameters. So guidelines for selection of controller mode, just to sum it up. So for the proportional controller, it is a simple regulating type. Tuning is easy because you have only one parameters to tune, Kp, but it normally introduces steady state error. Why? Because as you increase the gain, your steady state error will further change. And when you keep it lower, then also, I mean, this is now a trade-off between uh, finding the balance between transient state and steady state. If you are trying to improve transient state, then your steady state error will give more error. So it is recommended for process transfer function having a pole at origin. I mean, when you have single pole and that is also at origin, or for transfer function having a single dominating pole. So this is the guideline for proportional controller. Generally, we do not use derivative controller alone, and we saw the issue with that. And integral, it does not exhibit steady state error, but it is relatively slow responding. So when you use only integral control, it tackles the steady state error issue, but it becomes quite slow. So it is particularly effective for when your process is very fast itself with high noise level, process dominating by dead time, high order system with all time constants of the same magnitude. Now we add proportional plus I controller. It does not affect the offset associated with proportional control, but the issue what was happening with critical controller alone that it was getting slow, so it will improve with PI control, and it is widely used for process industries for controlling variables like you have level to control level, flow, pressure, temperature, etc. And these do not have large time constants. Right? And PD control, when you want to improve your transient state, so I mean when you have large number of time constants where you have high transients, then PD controller is used and it becomes rapid. And PID means like if you want to utilize all the advantage, you want to improve transient state, steady state together, also gain, then PID control is preferred. But again, it will become a bit complex because of uh, three tuning parameters. But process like pH, temperature, and in process industry, yeah, these control scheme is quite useful. So with that, we will come again possibly to this control structure. But now we will talk about the new concept, relatively new concept. I'm sure you might be knowing about stability through different courses or your prior knowledge of control system. So let's see the stability analysis part. Okay. So in the stability analysis part, we will learn about what this stability we mean, and to check the stability we have tools like RH, Rawat Hurwitz stability criteria. We will learn in this lecture and their analysis and limitations. So now coming to your understanding. So can somebody explain what do we mean by stability? What is stability? So whatever your general understanding is about the stability, you can tell. So there is no right and wrong answer. Please express your understanding.
सर आउटपुट कंट्रोल में हो.
So very good, Nikhil. Nikhil said output controllable hoga. Okay. Any other definition or opinion on it? So see, once again, just I'm reminding the same thing. I'm not looking for any technical or intelligent answers or textbook answers. So I'm looking for your understanding. Stability is something which we have been hearing from long time from our school days. So whatever we understand, you can say. So don't worry about right, wrong, or technical answers. Tell me in very plain understanding, plain setting that what do we mean by stability. Okay, इसको हम समझते हैं फिर. Let's try to understand this one a bit. अभी हमारे पास ये तीन डिफरेंट टाइप के केसेस हैं। ये कर्विकल पाथ है इस तरह का, टुवर्ड्स बॉटम। ये इस तरह का पिक की तरह है, अंदर इज फ्लैट। तो कैन समबडी टेल मी, इसमें बॉल रखा हुआ है इस तरह के शेप वाले, यू कैन थिंक ऑफ एनी कंटेनर। तो ये तीनों वाले केस में सबसे ज्यादा स्टेबिलिटी किस बॉल का होगा? 1, 2 और 3?
One sir.
ओके, सो ऑल ऑफ यू अग्री इट्स 1। तो ये 1 क्यों होगा, इसको थोड़ा सा हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। ये 1 इसीलिए होगा कि इसको हमने जैसे यहाँ से मूव किया, थोड़ा सा भी चेंज करेंगे तो इट ट्राइज टू रीगेन द ओरिजिनल पोजीशन इन दिस केस 1। सेकेंड के केस में अगर हमने इस पे फोर्स लगाया, इसको चेंज किया, it will not regain the original position, but it will not deviate also. I mean, like, it will not deviate for longer time, or it will not become unsettled. ये highly unstable है। अगर मैंने इसको थोड़ा सा फोर्स लगाया, then it will fall down. It will not fall down. It will come back to the original position. तो stability का मतलब होता है कि when you perturb a system, when you change the system, and if it regains the original position, then it is called stable system. So in this case, this is stable, this is unstable, and this is known as marginally stable or neutrally stable। ये वाला केस है। जनरली वी हैव दिस टू केसेस। तो इसका एग्जांपल हम कैसे समझेंगे? जैसे मान लो ये एयरक्राफ्ट है ऐसे, तो अभी ये फ्लाई कर रहा था, इधर से विंड आया, इट हैज हिट द एयरक्राफ्ट। एयरक्राफ्ट क्या वो अनस्टेबल हो जाएगा थोड़ी देर के लिए। तो इसने क्या किया, विंड गस्ट जो एक सडन इनपुट है, फोर्स है, it tries to unstabilize the aircraft, but aircraft has if aircraft has inherent property of stabilizing it back, I mean, like, if it regains the original position, yeah, then we say this aircraft is stable। or any system, for example, you just disturb the system for some time, and when it tries to regain its stability or its original position, then it is known as stable system। So we have many different connotation for stability. We have static stability, dynamic stability, or neutrally stable thing। So to understand that, if it has a tendency, for any system, if it has a tendency to regain the initial position after perturbation, then it is known as statically stable tendency, I'm saying। But when it has the long term tendency to settle, मान लो कि ये थोड़े से टाइम के बाद नहीं तो इस तरह से, suppose you have disturbed the system at this point, it has started oscillating like this, and then after certain time it will try to stabilize। So this is dynamically stable system। After some time it will settle, it will take time, but with respect to time it is trying to settle। So dynamic stable system, okay। So we will see these things in a detail in this lecture। So now focusing on stability part, so a system is said to be stable if its output is under control। I mean, output is controllable, as Nikhil said। अदरवाइज इट इज सेड टू बी अनस्टेबल। का मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर कोई भी सिस्टम है, उसमें अगर हम टाइम बाउंडेड इनपुट अप्लाई करते हैं, ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन यू अप्लाई फॉर input to the system, then we should also have some guideline on input। It's not like any system will function for any kind of input. In case of aircraft also, you have limitation on each stick. Pilot cannot apply any, I mean, pilot cannot apply all the inputs what he wants. He can only apply bounded input, I mean the input which is defined to operate the aircraft. Beyond operation, he is not supposed to apply the input to the aircraft. Or for in even for fan also, when it requires 220 volt, we cannot give 440 or we cannot give more than that. If any device is meant to operate at 5 volts, we cannot go beyond 5 volts. I mean, it is very much needed that input should be bounded, or in general or in practice, for most of the system we have bounded input. So this is the understanding for input, bounded input. But when your system is producing the bounded output, I mean the response for bounded input is bounded, then it is known as stable, or sometimes we call it BIBO stable, bounded input, bounded output stability, or stable system. So for most of the control system operation, they are bounded by input and output. For example, in this case, you can see when you have given the step input, I mean, we have already seen in our earlier class, this is a response for a first order system against step input. So we know step input is bounded input between 0 and 1 if it is unit step. So for that, the response is also bounded. I mean, if you see the value of output, it lies between 0 to 1. Our step input will look like this. So this is essentially a first order system. First order system. You have applied a step and you got this response. So for unit step it is 1, 0 to 1. So when you applied 0 to 1, I mean unit step input, your output is like this. So for bounded input, you got the bounded input output response. So unit step signal has 0, the value for all the positive values of t touching including 0. So it is bounded input. So given first order control system, this one is stable because both the input and output are bounded. So this is a generic understanding for stability in the context of control system. Now stability can be of different types. They can be absolutely stable system, it can be conditionally stable system, or it can be marginally stable system. So absolute stable system is what? If the system is stable for all the ranges of system component values, then it is known as stable, known as absolutely stable. I mean, there is no bound as such. It can be operated for wide range or almost all the ranges of systems. So normally open loop systems are generally stable, and we will also learn about the concepts of pole, how it should lie in S plane. And conditionally means if system is stable for a certain range. I mean, you have defined input bound that beyond that you cannot go. These are conditionally stable system. Marginally stable means if the system is stable by producing an output signal with constant amplitude or frequency. I mean, it is not either stable not nor unstable. So it will fluctuate like this one. So that time also we call it marginally stable. It is not converging, neither diverging. So generally dynamically stable system will diverge like this. Or unstable system will, sorry, this will converge, unstable system will diverge. But when it is maintaining the constant amplitude and constant frequency, then this kind of systems are known as marginally stable. But we can also do some algebraic manipulation to make it stable system, right? So this is the concept of stability. And about this S plane left side or right side, this is something like this. So we have characteristic equation, generic characteristic equation as Sn plus a1 s to the power n minus 1 plus a2 s to the power n minus 2 a3 s to the power n minus 3 A1, sorry, A N, like that, equals to 0. So this is a general representation of characteristic equation of nth order. We saw first order characteristic equation and second order characteristic equation for first order and second order systems respectively. So when you have nth order, then what happens? For any order of the equation, you have that many number of roots. Suppose you have s square plus 2 delta omega and s plus omega n square. Here you have two roots because it is second order system. So these roots are known as poles of that system. And poles and zeros, let's see the concept of poles and zeros first. So poles and zeros. In control system, these two terms are very important. Poles and zeros. Pole and zeros, right? So transfer function, if it has the order of like इसको ऐसे लिख दो s to the power m plus a1 s m minus 1 a2 s m minus 2 etc. divided by Sn plus b1 Sn minus 1 plus b2 Sn minus 2 etc. So this is numerator and this is denominator. So the roots of numerators are known as zeros. Zeros of the transfer function, and roots of denominator, they are known as poles. So here we will have m roots, so m zeros. This is nth order, then we will have n roots or n poles. Now how this is connected? So your overall transfer function, when you equate numerator with 0, for this case we will have n roots and they are known as poles of the system. When you equate numerator with 0, then you will get m number of roots, they are known as zeros of the transfer function of the system. But stability is confined or concerned with only poles of the system. So what happens when your all the roots lies in the left half of the plane? This is imaginary, then this is real one. So whatever roots you got, if they fall it left half of the plane, this is left half, right half. So if all the roots of denominator, or essentially all the poles, if they are in the left half of the plane, then system will known as stable. If they are in right side of the poles are right side, then this is unstable. If it is lying between both, I mean on the imaginary axis, then it is known as neutrally stable or marginally stable. तो पोल का रिप्रेजेंटेशन क्रॉस से होता है और जीरोस का जनरली जीरो से होता है. So when somebody writes cross sign, we will learn it in root locus chapter. But now we have to remember, अगर इसके सारे रूट्स नेगेटिव है तो ये सिस्टम स्टेबल होगा, पॉजिटिव रूट्स होगा तो ये अनस्टेबल होगा, बिकॉज इट विल लाई इन राइट साइड ऑफ द plane, right half of the plane. So this is how we find the stability of the system. But now question comes here, रूट हम निकाल सकते हैं फर्स्ट ऑर्डर का, सेकंड ऑर्डर का, थर्ड ऑर्डर का और फोर्थ ऑर्डर का एट मैक्स. तो फर्स्ट ऑर्डर का निकाल दिया, सेकंड ऑर्डर का भी निकाल दिया, थर्ड ऑर्डर का निकाल दिया, फोर्थ ऑर्डर का भी somehow we are able to manage. But what about when your orders are increasing? Is it possible for us to find roots manually by high for higher orders? So answer will be it is difficult, because when order will increase, then finding roots will become cumbersome. So there is a concept of RH, Routh and Hurwitz. They come up with a solution that how to find roots for higher order characteristic equations. So for that they have devised a tool which we will learn in next class. Today I have a meeting at 11, so I'll wind up this class now at this time. And in the next class we will learn about the root Routh Hurwitz table. So this class was about, just a quick recap. This class was about understanding the concept of stability. In the terms of control system, the plain definition will be if the output response is bounded for input bounded response, then it is known as stable system. In the context of poles and zeros, if all of the poles are at left half of the plane here, then systems are stable. Otherwise, it will be either unstable or neutrally stable. So we have to ensure that whatever characteristic equation you have taken for nth order system, all the roots which are known as poles, they should lie in the left half of the plane. For lower order, first, second, third, fourth, we can easily find roots with manual algebraic manipulations. But when your order will increase, then it is a difficulty to find roots of that equation. So that Routh and Hurwitz, they have devised a table. From that you will be able to know that how many roots are in left half of the plane or how many roots are in the right half of the plane, which we will learn in the next class. So I'll end this class today here. So thank you so much. We will meet on Wednesday and we will discuss about RH criteria or RH table. So thank you so much. Any question?
सर चैप्टर 3 का पीपीटी देख लीजिए ना.
Okay, Nikhil. So I'll send you soon. So probably today. Thank you, Nikhil, and thank you all of you. See you on Wednesday.